Oh yeah, blast that. Only in righteousness.
Aloha kākou, December 12th, 2020. Aloha kakaiaka, haleo ke ave, mawia pi'ilani, moloka iahina, oahu kakui hewa, and mano kalani po. Aloha kakaiaka ko Hawaii pai aina. Today's moko ke ave weather report. He'enalu, north, highs today 89, low 75. Your east side highs 85, low 73. Your south is 88 highs, 82 lows, and your north heats up at 91 high and 83 low. Ke'enalu, Umoko Ke'ave. North, facing shores, 1 to occasional 3. Fun, safe, cautious waves. East side, 3 to 4. Be careful. Make sure you have your leash, your fins ready because the swell is up.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. And out south, a little bit more bigger, 4 to 5. So if you're out there, you're not a professional surfer or a professional athlete, or if you're not Hawaiian, please stay clear of the water. Today's not the day for swimming. And out in your north, 0 to 1, occasional. That's where you can have your picnic kako. So if you guys want to have fun, head out to your north-facing shark wells. Homework,
Yes, sir.
occupation countdown, and olelo no ea.
Oh, yeah, no. Aloha mai kako. Aloha mai ko Hawaii pai aina. Aloha everyone out there tuning in this Saturday morning. And as always, we start our day off counting it down on what day is it? What law is it? How many days have we been at this? Well, if we're counting from the illegal overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom, which happened in January 17th, 1893, it's been 46,716 days. So again, 46,716 days since the usurpers overthrew our constitutional monarchy. So everything that has happened since then has been built upon a foundation of injustice, of genocide, of colonization, of occupation. And so we acknowledge that first and foremost. We are not free until the injustices that have been brought upon us by foreign invasive outsiders have been set right, have been made pono here in our aina, ko Hawaii pai aina. So again, this is actually 6,674 weeks, or 1,535 months, 3 weeks. But again, 127 years, 10 months, 3 weeks of this injustice, illegal, prolonged military occupation by the U.S. and all of its collaborators out there. So a big middle finger, keeping them current, like Uncle Skippy would say, for the colonizers and the occupiers out there. We see you, and we're gonna smash you today, big time. Boom! What's up?
Big time.
Anyway, today's theme, as we know, we kind of went over a little bit of a royal family history this week.
Oli lahanau.
Right. Haoli lahanau to our mo'i. Kamehameha e rima. Lot kapua iwa. So Onipaa, like Lota, that was actually his original.
Onipaa.
That was the original model for him. Yeah, we all associated with Lili'u, but Lota, he locks it down too, right? Oh, what happened? What was that story you was telling me about, Caps, this morning? About this handsome Kanaka.
Haoli lahanau e mo'i la kapua iwa. Kako, everybody, strives to be the best person that they can. And for me, not only a haoli lahanau, but when Lot locked it down, when the board and the legislation couldn't confirm what was best for the Hawaiian nation, Lota locked it down. He put everybody on a fasting case, and he allows them to rethink what they want for our Hawaiian nation. And we know as well as a lot of historians, if you guys go and look at that constitution, they say it was frivolous, but there's nothing frivolous of an executive ruling powers to executive order any bill that's a liability upon their health and the health of the Hawaiian nation. So, Lot kapua iwa, Onipaa. When I think of Onipaa now, I think of foreigners trying to adjust our kumukanawai, and Lot has to lock it down.
Lock it down.
So, kako, haoli lahanau to Lot kapua iwa, who is one of the last executives, mo'is, to ever exercise the lock count. When there is a stalemate and 50-50, well, guess who's the game breaker? It's the mo'i. And Lot Kapuiva, you truly left a legacy that Onipaa should be the peak of the Hawaiian nation.
Right. That's a model no matter what time period, no matter what reign that you're in, right? Onipaa, right? Be immovable, steadfast, stuck to the earth. So even when the bugger comes shaking, rolling in, we pa'a. Yeah. So yeah, mahalo a lot. And so another auspicious kind of timeline, right? He was born on December 11th and he passed on December 11th as well. So we acknowledge our mo'i. Getting into a little bit of Olelo no Eau today too. We have 2 days Olelo no Eau straight from Mary Kavena Pukui's Puke. Number 2445. O ka ulu iki, mai ke ia nana e kaa I ka hua hou. So, o ka ulu iki, mai ke ia nana e kaa I ka hua hou. This is the small mica stone, yeah, the ulu mica, that rolls over a long field. So in the spirit of makahiki, right? Shout out to all the stones out there, the ones who eat the stones, the ones who gather stones, the ones who build with the stones, who make them nice and shiny.
Some of us who get rolled up like stones.
You get rolled right up, baby, rolled across a long field, no matter how small the mica stone, right? So this actually Olalonoyao refers to some of our ancestors, right? Lonoika Makahiki and Kamalala Valu, a really chief of Maui. Took along his half brother Pupukea, who was known for being the smaller baga. Yeah, and Maka Kui Kalani, the half-brother and personal attendant of Kamalala Valu, who made fun of Pupukea for his stature, his small stature. But this is his retort, right? I may be a small stone, but Baga can roll across this field like the greatest of Ulumaikas out there. So, in the spirit of Makahiki again, you might think it's a game. You might think this is a game, baby, but, there's actually some strategy going on. There's some actual practice going on when we connect ourselves and we do these things with the implements, the tools, the stones, the elements of our kupuna. And so just like that little one, 936 or 904, right? We roll right across that kahua, right through the goalpost. And lono ika makahiki, everybody. Lono ika makahiki. Yee! Aloha kakaiaka.
Hello no eau for today.
Like that one, yeah?
Ulu maika.
The little ulu maika, baby.
That's for all you guys out there, man. Whoever fell down and out, right? Because you're not at the same size. Keep rolling, keep banging. Aoli makahiki. Yeah. Say, now let's get down to the business.
You ready for the
Let's
action
get down
now?
to the fucking business already, guys.
Show them the chopping block. What we got?
First one up today, Kako. This was fucking blowing everybody's brains, right? And this is what basically is occurring out in all over Ko Hawaii Pai Aina. And first up is our
Was this DLNR making another land grab? Making another
19,000 acres transferred throughout Ko Hawaii Pai Aina, Kako. So with that being said, let me go over a little stats, yeah? Director Suzanne, occupational case. She told lawmakers Wednesday the department transferred more than 19,000 acres to the Department of Agriculture. Yes, Kako. In the past 17 years, DLNR has transferred more than 237 parcels previously under auspices to the Agriculture Department. Of the 237 parcels, there is identified 35 on Kauai. There is, I think, over 25 on Maui that needs more review, right? And there's 52 parcels on Mokuo Keawe. So with that being said, Kako,
chopping it up again. Yeah?
Where is the Kuleana heirs into these so-called public lands, who are basically, most of them are crown lands, and there is Kuleana lands within those crown lands, and subject to native tenant rights for use, food, medicinal use, and for the living betterment of the Hawaiian people. And now we have Suzanne Case chopping it up like old Tony Montana, right? Just chopping up these lines, right? Chopping them up, thinking that we don't see what happened in Kauai and Namilu Fish Pond, yeah, on Keo'ua's royal patent. Those families out there on Akala, Madaris, stepping up and addressing these violators that continue to violate Hawaiian Kingdom laws and their nationals and upon their national treasures. So these lands that I just named, Kako, you guys need to go out there and check it out. They're not listing where the 52 parcels are on the Big Island, yeah. But we know why they're not listing it, because there are heirs still attached to it that are still alive.
Right.
So with that being said,
all those prime ag lands.
this is just a collusion
Right.
with Suzanne chopping up that Tony Montana case, right? Chopping up everything that she
That
can
Hawaiian
see.
Kingdom gold, still freaking cutting that freaking Hawaiian Kingdom.
Right.
And so again, as we know, all of these ceded lands are actually crown and government lands of the Hawaiian Kingdom, the ones that belong or are under the control of the DLNR, right, and these other, arms of the fake state of Hawaii. And so when one passes it over to the other one, right, one hand washes the other, as they say, in the fake state of Hawaii. That's kind of what we're seeing here. So on the headlines, it might look pretty good, right? We get 19,000 more acres of ag lands are going to be used for ag.
Let's be critical thinkers.
Yeah.
So these properties, right? These DLNR properties, you see Waimanalo, right? They put aside from DLNR lands to put up homeless population, right? You starting to see that these parcels, these public lands in certain areas are being developed for low income and other families who have hard time in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So why can't part of these 19,000 go to the waitlisters on death row, or even the people who don't even have spaces to be in at the moment?
Yeah.
Safe puhonua areas. But who are we, right?
Yeah. So for me, it just comes back to, it's supposed to be a good thing, right? Ag lands, we're getting back to agriculture, more lands to do that. But we have to, the devil's in the details when it comes to these kind of deals, right? We got to make sure it's not going to monocropping, or it's going to people like Syngenta and Monsanto and all these other big landowners that like to use our fields for test sites and to poison and to do all this kind of bad agriculture that Hawaii, actually the state of Hawaii and the territory of Hawaii and all the collaborators and colluders over the history of the last 127 years have continued to do to the Aina. Poison the Aina, extract the resource, and displace the Kanaka who are from there. And so, looking at the details, are these Kuleana parcels, do they belong to certain Ohanas? Are there heirs that are still alive, right? Does it come from a history of fraud and corruption, like most of the fake states sort of lands and resources come from?
All you conservations, all you ag cultures, right? Watch out.
Keep an eye out for that. I smell some collusion over here, and where there's a collusion, there might be some pua'a too. Right?
Might be some pua'as, boy.
Watch out for the pua'a.
Next up, we got on a chopping block.
We do need food, though. We do need some agriculture action, but
We got Bill Amalaya's old job.
okay.
Back on the chopping
Back to
block.
DLNR again.
Back to DLNR. We keeping the theme.
Yeah.
Keeping the crooks on the hook, right? We're not gonna let these cupcakes fly. We only got to do this correctly once a week, and we have to do this correctly. So if you guys have been familiar, right? There's a new court ruling further restricting commercial aquarium fish in Hawaii. So we know Bill Isla was the DLNR chair that was an avid fish collector while he was in the DLNR position.
Pimping ain't easy.
Pimping ain't easy when you got fish grease, baby. So this is the issue. There should be no gathering upon any natural cultural resources upon our shores, all the way extending to international borders.
3 miles,
And
baby.
3 miles. There you go, homework. 3 miles. Our international borders of the Hawaiian Kingdom shall be protected and not be pillaged by people of the DLNR like Suzanne Case and Bill Amalaya, right? Who were avid fish collectors, aquarium fish collectors that were collecting hundreds of thousands, if not
Organized
millions, with
crime.
exclusive rights, being in the positions that there are, these violates the State Environmental Policy Act. And if you guys don't know much about it, I suggest you guys go and research more about your corrupt politicians,
Right.
your corrupt leaders in DLNR, the Department of Natural Land and Rapists,
Right.
and also the Department of Homeless Hawaiians,
Mm-hmm.
Bill Amalaya, who came from these exact same positions like Mrs. Kealoha, right? The violator, who not only was involved with Mitski, but they were tied to Mauna Kea, right? So this has an effect from
All
the
the big
mountain
deals.
to the sea,
Yep,
Kako.
mountain
Mauna
to
Kea,
the sea,
all the
guys.
way down to our Ia.
That's
We
how
are
the
not
corruption
safe.
flows.
And so with that being said, the dark side of Hawaiian politics continue to smash, and don't let the Lahui sleep on these crisis actors that continue to desecrate and violate our Hawaiian Kingdom nationals and our resources.
They act like they're protecting our resources, but they're the very ones that was controlling the organized crime that was extracting these resources, controlling these resources, pimping out these resources. So for me, it always comes back to sort of that same power dynamic,
Yeah.
right? Of the fake state and its agencies, right? They got the power to actually be a solution, to have better policy, to reform their policy, to put the right people in positions to manage our resources and take care of us, right? But instead, they pillage, they plunder, they pollute, and they pimp.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I've seen from the fake state, the pirates that they are, right? They keep pimping us out and kicking the can further and further down the road. So I got to smash on the fake state, Suzanne Case, Bill Isla, David Ige,
Yeah.
all the cats in the hat that sit on top.
We don't care if you transfer
that
to
pyramid.
DLNR, to DHHL, DHHL to DLNR. We're gonna get you guys. You
Right.
know, it's gonna just be dressing up in different costumes and thinking we don't smell you guys. Next up on the chopping
Smell
block,
that fish fry right
smash
there.
that
cuz. You smell those coles.
the next one up,
Plenty
Kako,
Roy's in that bugger too.
that
right?
really pissed us
Thank
off
you.
this week is the military's involvement
Yes.
with the Indonesian military, which
Right.
houses their campaign of genocide on our islands, where they practice how to imitate and emulate the best ways to genocide our family in West Papua. And that's why this issue today really gets me pumped up, because as people like to say that they pau vote, right? They pau vote, how everything is aloha aina, right? But for all you military lovers out there, this genocide is on you guys. And that's why this news has to be brought up. Because we did talk about this a little bit, but not a lot of people write up about this. So mahalo Civil Beat for writing up about this military relationship, yeah, that starts from the one-handed bandit, right, of genocide. And this is not helping our cousins out in West Papua who are facing
Definitely not.
national resources, being
Genocide.
genocide, pure genocide and death.
Blatant
And so
genocide.
that's why this got me mad today, you know, because we've been trying to push out more information about the relationship and the military complex relationships between Hawaii and the colonial states and territorials that they possess through brutal force and genocide, or they have direct ties to dictatorships that lead these genocide campaigns. And this is what Hawaii and our families are not going to be a part of, not unknowingly and not knowingly. Yeah? We're not going to sit quiet to this genocide. We're not going to allow our children to remember Uncle Sam and the good deeds that they have done to all the Aboriginal people through genocide. And with that being said, send them back home. This collusion must be called out. The Indonesian military, RIMPAC, and all the genocidal dictatorships that come to Hawaii to practice their genocide. End the practice of genocide.
Yeah, and really that's that's what Hawaii has become, right? With rim pack training every 2 years, like the 27th rendition of that they just had, where they have, up to 30 different countries coming from all over the world to bomb, to desecrate, to learn how to do these things, to learn how to subjugate other people in their countries. Yeah, taking these practices they learn here, the war games, the sick war games of this Western colonial framework, right, of imperialism, of capitalism, right? They take this at Pohaku Loa, at the Barking Sands, right?
All of our crown
all
lands.
over Hawaiian homelands, right? The most military bases in the world per capita are right here in Hawaii. And what are they doing? They're training other militaries to go and be tyrants back home,
Yes.
right? And to bring genocide upon the native peoples of places all over the world. So you see, like this picture here, this is sick. You see a bunch of brown Kanaka from all over the world, right? These are the Indonesian warriors, but they're being trained by a local military man from here, right? A Hawaiian, Filipino, something, right?
What does he know about genocide?
Right. So like we teaching the tricks of the colonial tricks, right? And these tricks of imperialism to our cousins and our brothers and sisters around the world, so that we can perpetuate genocide, blatant genocide, right? Like what's happening in West Papua, Papua New Guinea, and the Aborigines over there who are being rounded up, who are being killed, who are being tormented in their homelands, right? For their resources, for mines, for extractive capitalism, right?
And they're training all on the crown lands on Koava, Ipai, Aina.
They're learning how to be Americans. Guys, look at this. What does that look like to you? Right? Looks like a bunch of punks. Looks like a bunch of punks with a bunch of guns and
Official
toys
gang members
in there. So I gotta putty these guys. Kalamai, we do not condone brown face colonialism.
And we're going to come back to
imperialism.
Pohakuloa soon, Kako, but this is all relevant to our first DLNR violation, yeah?
Right.
DLNR allows the fishing aquarium. DLNR allows the signing of Mauna Kea to be desecrated. DLNR signs and allows for fisheries. DLNR allows these militaries to conduct genocide activities on our crown lands.
For $1 a year or $1.65 years.
For $1.65.
Right. So this is why, everyone, we cannot allow the military to re-up their leases here in Hawaii. We cannot allow them to bomb our lands like they did to Kaho'olawe, like they do to Pohakuloa, like they do all around the Pai'aina. We need to end the militarization of these islands. So demilitarize Hawaii, demilitarize the Pacific, so our cousins can actually get along, get back to their traditional customary ways, and bring the health and vitality of our connection to source back to the forefront.
Oof. So let's take a break right into our the COVID.
That's the end of that first chop.
The first chop.
Clean that chop right off. Okay, where we going? COVID freak out? Boom.
So first up on the COVID freak out. So first one up, Kako, is the 90% of inmates that have COVID-19 in Honolulu. Yeah? Wahiwas, yeah?
At the Wahiawa.
Wahiawas. So this is another 142 inmates were sick in recent months. And this is what we're talking about. The pie of the chart shows 21 negative 10% Hawaiians, 68 active positive, which is 29%, and 142 recovered, equivalent to 61% Kako. And this is from the Department of Public Safety, provides a breakdown in numbers of the infected inmates and those recovering. The numbers show the 90% of the
Guinea
prison
pigs.
population was infected. Yeah? And that's where this is unacceptable. Yeah? Espinda, right? Espinda, the Department of Health. You guys are the COVID spreaders. You guys are the germs. You guys continue to put the highest at risk on the front burner to get it. With that being said, smash.
Got to.
These guys is unbelievable.
Right?
If you guys have family members, check on them. Check on them. If you guys haven't, make a phone call, make a text. Check on your loved ones in there. Even though times is tough and you guys didn't have the best opportunities when available, make a phone call to check on the health. Your kupuna, those who are locked up, check on them because the state are using them as just a bad batch.
Guinea pigs, bro. Like if this doesn't show you guinea pigs, right? First it's the what is it? The big ships, those big tour ships.
They wanted to dock them in Hawaiian homes,
right? The cruise ships. Now
keep on bringing them.
Now it's the our correctional facilities. These places where Hawaiians, majority of the people in there, right, 60% Kanaka Maoli, are locked up and locked into a situation, right, where this outbreak can play out however it's supposed to play out, right? And there's no protection for these Kanaka in there. There's no real information coming out. And then like we saw in Hilo with the fire and the stories that were coming out, how different inmates were being sent out to Arizona and California. Already infected, just sent right out, put right out, all on the ship. You know,
to infect the rest of the people.
And no real resolution, no clear leadership coming out of these places when there's a critical problem showing itself. So 90%, that's very critical. I can only send our pule out to our, to our Kanaka in there, especially the ones who are in there for non-violent crimes, things like pakalolo and things that other pimps of the fake state are now enjoying and swimming in gold like Scrooge McDuck over.
Get them.
I gotta shout out to also our inmates out in out across America, right? The private prison
profit, right?
Pieces of parcels, basically how they treat us, send us out there and use us like a token to finance whatever corruption is going on. There's a lot of action going on out there too. We've heard that a couple of inmates recently died out in Saguaro from Hawaii. So again, sending pule out to all the ohana out there, because as we see these numbers as well, 1,079 Hawaii prisoners as Saguaro have tested positive for COVID-19. 3 now who have died. So, that is just, it's a travesty that our ohanas are locked up during this time. And this is the outcome. America, this blood, this disease, this haumia is on you again, right? 127 years of illegal prolonged military occupation. Anyway, talk about a depressing freaking subject right here, guys.
That's all right. Reality needs to be spoken, man.
The truth is, we gotta send the pule out to our Kanaka though.
So
for real, we're gonna pull it for anything.
COVID freak out up next is the Suzanne Lying Ballard.
Oh, your favorite pretty face? No, that's how you change the mood right there, guys.
Suzanne Lying Ballard.
That's your girl.
Bastard. But, so, Kako, as you know, the COVID fundings that came in of the CARES Act, 32 million, the CARES Act funded, the effort resulted in only 962 convictions. So if you guys remember, there were 6,000 tickets, was it?
60,000, baby.
60,000 tickets that got dismissed, Kako.
Oh my God.
So they have scooped up 32 million of CARES Funding Act for a grand total of 962 convictions. That is astronomically a scheme.
Fucking sickos.
So they bought new, they bought new 4-wheelers, quads, right? They bought all these new gigs, and you got Suzanne Ballard continuing to lie out of control, right? She's out of control, Kako. She's a consistent liar, as we've been seeing.
She is in control, but she's out of control.
She's out of control. Suzanne Lying Ballard. So wherever she came from, 60,000 criminal citations got declined or dismissed by prosecutors. And this is where 32 million went to. Somebody needs to get fired. Somebody needs to get investigated, because this is the kind of corruption that our sick our elder, our communities don't need.
Yep. That's what happens. Fake economy, fake state. So you gotta create fake problems, and you gotta
Problems.
take fake money from everybody to do it, right? So sadly, we gotta smash these buggers again for pretty much consistently making the headlines every week, and over their stupid corruption and trying to pretty much tuck their tail and sweep it under the rug every week.
32 million, CARES Act, 962 tickets out of 60,000. I think that's an F, homework. Can we get them an F?
That's an F, baby.
That's an
That is a F. cuz.
So now we out of the COVID freak out, and now we can wrap this back half out.
Get this guy going. Boom. Oh,
We gotta.
red fish. Ooh, we got some red fish on there.
First and foremost, we gotta hit up Harry Spicy Kimchi and the ethics board, right? So the ethics board this past week claims that ex-mayor has violated the ethics code on Mauna Kea. It's really hard for me to believe this lies, because once again, that's Crown lands up on Mauna Kea. The county does not own the road, and Harry Kim left his granddaughter there with the kupunas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get some Portuguese bean soup with us.
and mamake tea. So, so this board of ethics, as you can see, it's a bunch of colonizers, right? You don't see nobody with the lack of capacity to make these kind of judgment calls, regardless if this is ethics or morals, which we know the state lacks ethics and morals. So with that being said, Harry Kim, best on your next ventures, but please leave Mauna Kea alone, right? And all of those other peoples in the ethics committee, you guys have heard the will of the people. You guys have seen
What
the
a
letter
bunch
of the
of
land.
cowards, bruh. What a bunch of cowards, right? They wait until he's like 2 days out, and then they
wanna throw the punch,
and then
right?
they want to throw this punch at Kim, right? Like, come on, you guys. You guys are just like, what are you really doing?
So Lisa
ethics board?
Malakawa, this one is for you, Lisa
Get
Malakawa.
real.
You guys are so full of baloney that you guys, we never see you guys up there, whether it's Malama, whether it's any other community outreaches. We only see you guys as the number one puppets for the colonizers and UH Hilo, along with Imi Loa and the astronomy.
Scheming law.
Schemy laws. These schemy laws. And the schemy kahus you guys get. Kahus.
Oh,
Let's go.
shucks. Oh, well, we having fun. There
Next
we go.
up,
Some red
we go
fish,
next
baby.
up.
Red fish. What
Gotta
else
get
we get?
straight to the point, man.
What else
The
we
last
got,
two,
man?
always, we like to leave it on the highest notes, right? And there it is, Kako. The Pohaku Loa Kahea.
Hey,
Look at that championship
those beautiful
picture.
faces right there.
That's the championship picture, Kako.
Yo,
The heavyweight champs of the world.
yeah.
Pohaku Loa.
There it is.
There it is.
Kane and Wahine.
So this is a kahea out, Kako, for you guys to go out there and make this initiative, to sign this petition, get activated. And this is where we make the pit stop on the cupcake and cookie bonanza.
Yeah.
Because these people out in Hawaiian Kingdom News
Real-
are exact beneficiaries
There you go.
of Pohaku Loa, an exact opposite model of Ku and Artutu, anti-max to the max.
Anti-Mac.
So this one is for you out there, La'akea, and the Pohaku Loa desecrators on Crown land, with the non-profits acting all Hawaiian Kingdom. You guys need to get off of those leases out in Pohaku Loa, right? All you Hawaiians out there, yeah, who are benefiting off the desecration and the rim pack
There are
and
a lot of NGOs out there.
and the genocide of our
Yeah.
West Papua people,
Native Hawaiian
our cousins.
organizations.
You guys are getting called out today, right? Because you guys continue to benefit off the genocide, like we showed Indonesia and other national countries coming here to practice their war games so they can execute it on real life people. And you, Kanakas, who continue to build the facilities, who continue to import their goods and say you're just a worker, you're a contributor to genocide.
Yeah.
And Hawaiian Kingdom News, that's why I'm smashing on you today. Pohaku Loa brings out the best, and you're just not it.
All right. Go back to the best though. Bam, right here. Just want to make sure we get the kahea right.
Get the kahea out there.
You know, our kupuna right now are making the kahea. They have a playbook for you. They have a formula you can they get the recipe, right? They get the recipe. You can whip up some aloha aina cupcakes to give to these suckers out there. But so anyway, you guys can check out I believe Kalahui Hawaii has this, as well as the Mauna Kea pages.
Share, repost.
The Mauna Kea Consensus Hui, Kupuna Consensus Building Hui. They're basically asking you to get involved. Start sending letters to our reps. Start getting involved with the cases. Their case in particular was against PTA and DLNR for their mismanagement over the years, allowing the military to do whatever they like with no oversight, not fulfilling their kuleana to malama aina, as the Supreme Court
Another
judge
DLNR
said,
issue.
Judge Chang,
Right?
right?
This is another DLNR fuck up today.
So, well, let's just give a little shout out to Auntie Mac and the Ohana out there who have been pounding the pavement, been doing the work. Here they are at Haleo Kuhio when we were up there occupying for over a year as well. The Kupuna Council came in all the time. Oh, Uncle Ku over here too with a couple clown burgers swirling around too. Hey, but you know, just a trip down memory lane of our Kupuna boots on the ground, but also in the courts, making reform happen, and now asking you to help them. Yeah, make the kahea, call your representatives, hold these elected officials to the standard of aloha aina, of malama aina, that our kupuna set the foundation for. Yeah, so mahalo again to these buggers.
Yes.
For being a light in a dark place for us, right?
Well,
the dark side of Hawaiian politics.
Now we know.
Real. It's close
It's illegal
to home.
not to aloha aina.
Yeah. There we go.
So, Kako, our last one up for this week.
Back to this chopping block, baby. One more kahea, right?
Here we go. YPO airs. So, if you guys got time, go to Kim Ball's page.
Kimball, who's that?
She is basically
County Council.
Yeah. County Council. So
County
she
Council.
is
Heather Kimball.
She is one of the ones who have been how can you say? She was more enthused about the access points and the issues.
Right.
With that being said, mahalo ke ko'o lani for coming out and putting this forward for the community to come out. So you guys, if you guys have time,
This is a community kahea, right?
call out is on the 16th, December 16th. I believe that's Tuesday, this coming week at 6 p.m. So if you guys have the opportunity, we got to clear this up just for the Ohanas out there. This is not to restrict access to those who are lineal descendants, who are Kanaka Maoli, or to those who go down there to practice your cultural rights and or to enjoy the Aina. This is meant for those tourists who have no idea where they are. They are not in four-wheel drives. These message is to restrict, and this is for the community to engage in this level, to share your concerns, because a lot of feedback was like, oh, are you going to restrict Hawaiians? No, the goal is not to restrict Hawaiians. The goal is to create a safer path for the communities, local families in Waipio and families outside of Waipio. But we believe if you guys have lineal descendant ties to Waipio, we're going to post the names up again. And this kahea goes out to you guys to call in on the 16th to share your mana'o and to share that you guys have been overlooked at the table. The real heirs in Waipio Valley who hold the Land Commission Awards, regardless if Bishop Museum and Kamehameha Schools claim to own 70% of it, they are illegally holding on to many kuleana parcels illegally.
Right.
They have no authorizations to do so, and they need to fall in line with the families, the kuleana heirs, to protect, preserve, and create a safe venture for the communities to enjoy. And that is your kahea for Waipio heirs
Right.
to call in.
So you're actually going to have
7/16.
some county council people on board, right? Trying to listen, trying to hear the issue, trying to hear the concerns from the community. So definitely, if you're from that community, we need to hear your voice more than anybody else, for sure.
So heirs,
And
call
the
in.
heirs, right? If this is your kuleana, then now's the time to start getting involved, to start listening to what the Kanaka of Waipio are saying, and to start paying critical attention to how the county plans to maneuver around this issue as well. Yeah. Pedestrian access to Waipio is something that we definitely need to get some kind of grips on. Yeah, we can't have unfettered access to sacred areas and to thrill seekers and all these, the foreign invasives, right? But we have to be very clear about what our rights are, where our grounds are for certain things as well. We don't want the state to use this to start infringing upon our rights, like the PASH rights, public access rights, things like that that have been fought and articulated in court. But again, knowing the true source of these parcels, knowing who is actually supposed to be down there and what they're supposed to be doing, that's where I think there's a lot more we need to hear from the Kanaka.
Waipio heirs, ko Waipaina Waipio heirs.
Aye.
You guys seen the post on our Na'au News page? There's your names. There's your land commission awards.
Oh yeah, we got that bugger too.
We just need you guys to, right there, hit it. We just need you guys to respond when you guys feel it's right. And with that being said, that's your Darkside of Hawaiian Politics episode 56. Homework.
Man, we ran through
Constitutional
that bugger
oath
quick.
breaker for this week.
Constitutional oath breaker of the week?
Yes.
Okay.
Come on, you know what it is. You know what it is.
Well, are we going to...
My constitutional oath breaker will continue to be this kind of Hawaiian.
Oh, it's 2 weeks in a row. This guy
No,
gets
gotta be.
it.
So this kind of people, this is not just speaking about Josh. This is for all of you who are sitting on our sugarcane / crown land kuleana parcels. We are coming home. You guys must create a venture that we must live in harmony. If not, you will have your picture posted and continue to be exposed for the continuous violations you guys do to our families and the hardships that you guys continue to cause knowingly. And that being said, homework, who are yours?
You got to get the paddle ready for these kind of colluders and collaborators. And then there's going to be other Hawaiian families who go down that path as well, who take some of the poison and who actually perpetuate the pilikia within the communities, right? So being very careful about who you are, where you're from, knowing who you are, where you're from. Not just because you gave money to some donkey developers are you going to stand in the way of other Kanaka taking care of their kuleana. Know who you are, know your rights, know your laws, so that you can spot the kepalo when you see them. And when you can see people freaking out over money, over their illnesses, over their sicknesses, over their inability to malama their kupuna, their iwi kupuna, over their kuleana, right? Stay pa'a like the Pohaku gang. Stay pa'a. Stay connected to the source, because there's a lot of these cat in the hat banshee buggers out there.
But remember too, like you said, the Ulu Maika. It's a long battle. So make sure you make it across that field.
Make it across that field, baby. Boom. Even the little ones, right? We just keep rolling, gang. We gotta make it across this kahua.
Gotta make it across the kahua. And with that being said, for the Rapid Aloha this week, because we're wrapping it up, like always, first up, who we got for the makahiki?
Who we got for makahiki
right here
today?
Kanaka Kava. Check them out. If you guys have the shot, the poke bowls, the side bowls.
If you're on the west side,
if you got
check
that
us out in
sickness,
the Coconut Grove.
go get your Ava Connect.
Right? If
You got in your Rapid Aloha?
Get that sick coconut syndrome, go get you some Ava. Make you feel better, right? Plenty coconuts out there.
Plenty coconuts out there.
Imitation crab meat. But just want to give a shout out to all the grassroots Kanaka out there doing grassroots movements, working their mala, working their communities. You know, shout out to all our sponsors. Bite the
Here
eye.
it is, here
I
it
think we
is.
lost the
Come on,
picture
come on.
today.
No, we
Where is
never
it at,
lose it.
boy? Where's it at?
We never lose, cousin.
That's what I mean. I'm getting hungry.
Oh, his cousin. Bite the eye, always.
Yeah, shout
always
out to Bite
intact.
the Eye. Shout out to He Hawaii.
Hey, Hawaii, if you guys got a chance, go check out cousin. Today he's out there, right? He's out down at Poinaco, Hawaiian Homestead. So if you guys got that bite,
we always get the fish frying, boy.
always got the fish frying, man.
Oh, cuz.
So mahalo everybody for tuning in this week. And we'll be catching everybody back next week. Ku aloha aina, Regia kumu kanawai. Hau'oli, mo'i, lot kapua iwa.
Yes.
When times get hard, Onipaa and lot this monka down.
You know it. Hey, and don't forget about the kupunas. Answer the kahea, the kupunas. Like Auntie Mac and Uncle Ku. Saying kanikapu. Come to Pohaku Loa. Stand like a Pohaku forever and ever. Don't ever let them break your water table. Onipaa, like Lot said, right, baby? We doing this. There it is, the promised land, cuz. Till the lake comes home, baby. Love you guys.
Ku aloha aina.
Haleo kuhio. We still banging.
End the genocide.
Yep.
Free West Papua.
Free West Papua, cousins. Yeah, stop doing war games on Pohaku Loa. Stop shucking and jiving for the colonizer. Let's get back to the Ala Kupuna. Follow their path. Ala Loa. Get around the island. Lock it down like Lot. Lono i ka makahiki.